Moving in a little bit of a wider scope, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman rips TNT analyst Paul Bissonnette. Bissonnette over question about Florida's state taxes. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman is shutting down suggestions that Florida hockey teams have a competitive edge because of the state's lack of income tax. The pushback came after former NHL player and TNT analyst Paul Bissonnette questioned whether the Florida Panthers, fresh off their Eastern Conference Finals win, benefit from a tax advantage that attracts top players. Speaking before Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Panthers and the Oilers, Bettman called the idea ridiculous. When the Florida teams weren't good, which was for about 17 years, nobody said anything about it, Bettman said. You didn't pick a team with a tax table in your hand. You wanted a good organization, a place to raise your kids, great teammates, a shot at winning. That's what motivates players, not a couple of percentage points. He also questioned the fairness of Bissonnette's argument. Are we supposed to subsidize high tax teams in LA or New York? That's not how the league works. Bissonnette, known for stirring the pot, first raised the issue on air saying, quote, "It's something we need to talk about. The no state income tax teams are getting a free pass here. It matters when guys are choosing where to sign," end quote. Fellow TNT analyst Anson Carter quickly pushed back, and Bettman echoed that stance. Still, Bissonnette took it in stride, posting on X, quote, "Get the people talking. Look at the engagement, throwing Gary softballs," end quote. The exchange has added a layer of off-ice drama to the Stanley Cup Final as the Panthers face off against the Edmonton Oilers. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, we don't have a state income tax. So, I mean, it does save these guys who are making millions and millions of dollars. But hockey's the only one.
They know to look for that?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100% they know to look for that.
All right.
And we're talking million. I mean, take a $100 million contract in California and add 14% to it, because that's on top of your national income tax, and that's what you're paying.
Okay.
I mean, if you just do that math, yeah. I mean, that's.
But if you do the math,
that's $14 million.
If you're coming from Canada and it never occurred to you that not having income tax in your area,
if you're and Aiden wants to be a sports agent, if your agent doesn't let you know that,
okay,
then he's not doing his job. I was a consultant for, and this works for entertainers too. I was a consultant for an entertainer who he had a house in Florida and a house in New Jersey. He had New Jersey as his home, his actual home.
His home base.
Yeah. I had him flip that, and it saved him $300,000. So if you have an agent that's not if you're not taking care of that, I'll take it all day.
I know. It's like trying to think how many years of my household income that would be.
Yeah. I mean, a prime example, like I can tell you the championships definitely have worked in Florida because the last 4 years in the Stanley Cup Finals, we've had a team from Florida. There's only 2 teams in Florida that's been in it. So it's kind of them being sour grapes.
Yeah.
And I don't think Canada, who has probably the highest taxes, I don't think they've won a Stanley Cup since the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, what's the last year a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup? I mean, there's a team in it right now from Canada, but I mean, their taxes. So it's kind of a little bit of bitterness towards Florida. But it hasn't worked for the Jaguars.
It has not worked for the Dolphins. Nope. Baseball.
It's
not working for MLB.
The Marlins stack a team and then they dump a team. So
it was 1993. It was the Montreal Canadiens beat the LA Kings.
Yeah. So Canada hasn't had somebody. So it's probably a little bit of just sour grapes.
But you would think with their amazing healthcare system that they would just be at the top of their game.
Oh yeah. See how that worked out for them. So, but I mean, it's a legitimate, a legitimate thing. Is Florida? It's cheaper to live in Florida. It's cheaper to live in Texas. I mean, there's some states that you kind of have that advantage. I mean, hell, even if you go Colorado Rockies to the Dodgers, there's still an income tax there, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
State income tax there.
Yeah.
So. but that is a factor in those decisions if their agent's treating them right.
Yeah.
But you always will still have like the players that want to play for like prestigious teams that might be in like high tax areas, like because we know in '96 Shaq left the Orlando Magic
because the endorsements that come with it. That's the benefit, that you're going to make that money up on your endorsement side if you're in LA or if you're in New York City. I mean, the Yankees and the Mets and the Dodgers all have huge salaries.
Yeah.
Because they're big market cities, so that's how they compete. It's kind of the balance that goes with it.
Yeah, and like the only true big market you have in Florida is in Miami, but you only really have like two big spenders there, which is the Dolphins and the Heat. So you need to have like a good lucky owner who is a billionaire and who can spend money and invest in your team. Like sure, we have an advantage of having no state income tax. But you still got to put the money in the right places. It
still comes down to the management and the and playing on the field.
Coaches, the players.
Because I mean, Miami has they have a healthy salary that should be competitive, and they make the playoffs, but that's about it. They don't go to that next level. They haven't went to that next level yet this year. Probably not.
You guys still have Jalen Ramsey on your team. You're not going to win anything.
the worst human being.
Well, just thinking about the sports dynasties that have made headlines in the past couple of decades. I mean, the Yankees had a really crazy run there. The New England Patriots had a really crazy run where everyone was like, well, they have all the money, so of course they're just buying championships. They're also in very high tax states, so does that outweigh how much money they had? Like, it's a dumb argument.
Yeah, no, it's real. It exists.
Yes, money
but it doesn't equate
game.
to performance across all sports. You can't just pick out because the NHL, the commissioner of the NHL said, you didn't say anything when they sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, in Tampa won 4 years ago. Florida won 3 years ago. Lost in the finals 2 years ago. Won last year, and now they're playing against. So it's not real.
It is
still
kind
got to
of
play on the ice.
A funny sort of backhanded defense when the teams weren't good for 17 years. Like he points out, for 17 whole years, nobody said anything about the taxing structure.
Yeah. That is rough for the commissioner to say on public. Yeah, the two Florida teams sucked, and you guys didn't bring up state income tax.
Oh man, it's such a backhanded defense.
Yeah. No, they know.
Yeah.
You know when your team sucks.
And
if
you
you're
know
a Jaguar
for exactly
fan, you feel that pain. So, but this year they're going to be good.
It's our year.
Yeah, sure it is.
I wish it was. I hope it is.
I do like Trevor. I mean, come on.
I hope so.
Travis Hunter better be good.
Yeah.
All right, Troy, how do you want to check those comments?
On this translucent